41. Y2K, the apocalypse that didn't happen. The prediction, what we thought. As the calendar crept toward January 1st, 2000, one fear eclipsed almost all others. Civilization itself might fail at midnight. Computers, many of which stored years using only 2 digits, would misread 00 as 1900. Banks would lose records. Power grids would shut down. Planes might fall from the sky. Governments would freeze. Markets would panic. Society, dependent on brittle software, would stumble into chaos. This wasn't fringe paranoia. It was discussed in boardrooms, parliaments, and emergency planning committees. Y2K wasn't framed as a possibility, it was framed as a countdown. Standing in 1999, the question wasn't whether something would break, but how much. Why this prediction made sense in 1999. To understand Y2K fear, you have to remember how new and poorly understood software dependence still was. In 1999, core infrastructure ran on decades-old code. Many systems had undocumented dependencies. Software failures were opaque and hard to trace. The internet was only just becoming critical. Computers were everywhere but invisible. Most people had no idea how banking systems, utilities, aviation, or government records actually worked. The realization that a tiny date bug might cascade across systems was genuinely alarming. This fear fit perfectly with millennium-era anxiety, the shadow side of optimism. The same interconnectedness that promised efficiency also threatened fragility. Y2K felt like a stress test of the modern world. For younger readers today, it's important to emphasize that this wasn't a joke at the time. Governments stockpiled supplies. Companies spent billions on remediation. Media coverage was relentless. New Year's Eve 1999 was watched like a live experiment. Who said it, and where? One of the earliest and most prominent voices raising the alarm was Peter de Jager, who began warning about the issue as early as 1993. De Jager did not predict apocalypse. He warned of systemic risk, that uncorrected date handling could cause widespread disruption. His concern was technical, not theatrical. But as the warning spread, it escaped its original nuance. Media amplification, consulting incentives, and institutional fear transformed a solvable engineering problem into a civilization-scale anxiety. By the late 1990s, Y2K had become shorthand for technological doom. What actually happened January 1st, 2000? Very little. Midnight arrived, the clocks rolled over. Systems continued to function, power stayed on, planes landed. ATMs worked. Civilization did not collapse. There were minor glitches, incorrect dates, small errors, but nothing remotely resembling the feared cascade. From the outside, Y2K looked like a massive overreaction. From the inside, it was something else entirely. Verdict. Status. False. There was no civilization-level collapse. The dire predictions did not materialize, and January 1st, 2000 passed with minimal disruption. Why it played out this way? Y2K didn't fail because the threat was imaginary. It failed because the response succeeded. Governments and corporations spent enormous sums identifying, rewriting, and testing code. Millions of programmers worked through the 1990s correcting systems. Backup plans were created. Redundancies were added. Y2K was one of the largest coordinated preventative efforts in technological history. The paradox is this: the better the fix, the sillier the fear looks in retrospect. This created a lasting cultural misunderstanding. Y2K is remembered as hysteria, not as one of the first times humanity took software risk seriously and acted in time. What this prediction teaches us about the future. This case reveals a crucial forecasting trap. Prevented disasters look like false alarms. When systems don't fail, we assume they never would have. Success erases evidence of danger. Preparedness gets mistaken for paranoia. In 1999, Y2K symbolized fear of a brittle digital world. In 2026, it symbolizes something subtler, that coordinated action can neutralize systemic risk. If we take it seriously enough, the future didn't punish our dependence on software. It rewarded our caution. One sentence takeaway. Y2K didn't end the world, because the world quietly fixed it first.